What is up? My name is Douglas Nyback. This is DNA, which stands for Douglas Nyback Acting, because this is the place you go on YouTube if you want practical and effective on-camera acting lessons from a coach who does 20 to 30 coachings per week, as well as works as an actor and a writer and a producer. That's me. Today, I am going to be talking about emotional connection. So right away, I want to get into the pain point that almost every actor experiences weekly, whether or not you're a beginner or an intermediate or an advanced level actor, which is the fear of not being able to emotionally connect, either with a scene partner, but really what the main fear is, let's be real about it, it's like you see in the script they break down into tears. You gotta cry. You gotta go through that big thing, that big, like, I'm hugging this person because we've survived this horrible thing and now I must weep and cry and how dare me and how dare me. And those big emotional moments are both the things that we as actors love and crave and want, and also terrify us, because of course they do. Listen, public speaking is the #1 fear of people in North America, which is ahead of lions in elevators. So the idea of being asked to go through something that is unbelievably extreme and hugely vulnerable and requires major emotional commitment and execution, that's about the most terrifying version of the thing that people already find the most terrifying. This is the reason why actors make the big bucks. It's for these moments. Almost every actor I've ever worked with, and myself, deals with this fear. The fear that they're not going to be able to connect. I've experienced it in real time in auditions where it just isn't there. I've experienced it on set where it just isn't there. I spent a lot of time thinking about emotion and a lot of time working with clients, helping them get to emotional extremes. And the techniques that I have developed, I think, are both the healthiest and most practical and duplicatable ways to emotionally connect. I'm going to walk you through the process. It works every time. The main reason why actors can't emotionally connect is, and this is going to sound so basic, it's going to make your face hurt. It's because you're trying to make yourself feel something. And I've talked about this on the channel before. The basic contract of an actor internally is between the mind and the body. The mind, your brain, your logical self, knows and understands that this fake shit is fake. The fiction that's written on the page does not actually exist. Megatron is not actually jumping around the desert. Your car is not actually turning into a transformer. It's all fake. The contract is the brain telling the body, hey, we need to treat this fake shit like it's real. So the body's like, all right. The process of acting is essentially body, holistic, emotional, instinctive, guttural buy-in to something that we know isn't real, so that we essentially treat it as though it is real. So when in your life have you ever gone through a day being like, well, at some point today I'm gonna be upset, so I'm on the subway, but at 5 p.m. someone's gonna tick me off, so I'm gonna get real angry about stuff now. Gotta get myself ready for emotion. So the basic contract, if this is your process with emotion, which it is for most actors, largely because a lot of acting teachers teach it this way, especially at the early stages. So your brain is like, hey, body, please treat this fake shit like it's real. And your body's like, no, okay, I'll treat it like it's real. And then your brain's like, okay, cool, let's preempt some emotion. And your body's like, what the fuck? Man, that's not how we do it. It's not to say it can't work, but already you've put yourself so far on the back foot that if it works, it's a miracle. And it's not going to be repeatable with a lot of consistency. So you're creating insecurity and fear because your body already is like, this isn't real, this isn't right, I don't know what we're doing here, why are we treating it this way? So this is the major issue. The second thing that actors often do is the as if. I've talked about this, I have a whole dedicated video to it on the channel, but the concept of the as if or substitution. My mother is dying in the scene, my dog died when I was young, so I'm going to make myself think about and try to relive my dog dying so that I can elicit the emotions for my mother dying. Here's the thing, it's not that it can't cause you to feel something, it can, but it's inherently a square peg being put into a round hole. To me, and as if it's something that's useful for a very beginner actor who needs to learn that they contain emotions, and it's useful in a triage sense. Holy I just can't connect today, all of the parts of me are dead inside, then maybe you can pull something from past and actively bring it to the surface and just hope that that is going to work. And sometimes it does, but again, it's not consistent, and inherently it's bullshit So it breeds insecurity into the process, right? So not super useful to you in a consistent process. So those are the traps emotionally that the vast majority of actors fall into. And now I'm going to teach you what you should do to avoid all that shit and fix the pain point. The main truth about emotion is to acting what sweat is to working out. This sentence is going to change your life. Emotion is to acting what sweat is to working out. You never go into the gym and stand there and be like, I need to get a good sweat on. That was a sweat. That was a sweat drop. That's not the way it works. The way it works is, all right, I need to get a good sweat on. I'm in the gym. Time to go do squats. Time to get on the treadmill. Time to go do bicep work. I need to get active. I need to do the things, and sweat will happen as a result. If I simply accept the reality in front of me, I don't try to believe it. Belief requires proof, constant proof. I believe in God. I am constantly searching for evidence of this. I believe in myself. I am constantly trying to prove things to myself. Belief is an insecurity black hole. Acceptance requires no proof. I accept that gravity exists. I accept that I am in my studio right now. I accept that I know what I'm talking about in this regard. Zero friction. If we accept that a parent dies, that happens. That's a reality that happens. My job as an actor, if that's what the script has put in front of me, isn't to prove that that's true. There's nothing to prove. It is. The script has made it so. And the script has given me things to do in the context of my parent has died and I need to console a sibling, or I need to execute the will, or I need to plan their funeral, or I need to fly somewhere and pick up the body, or there's stuff to do. The job, in order to emotionally connect, becomes very simple. I need to accept the context of the reality of the fiction, so that my body exists within it as though it is real. And then I need to plan the funeral, or console my sibling, or do the thing. And then everything that I feel in pursuit of that, in doing those things in pursuit of the goal that the script has given me, of course I'm gonna feel as I do those things. How could I not? I would feel as a matter of course, just like I sweat when I pick up weights or get on the treadmill. Now, I don't like that that's true. I don't think you're gonna like that that's true, because it's so simple. No matter how big or how small the feeling, the rule never changes. Accept the reality, do what is in front of you, and you will feel as a result. If you are not feeling, this is where we go into the next phase of the video, which is this requires you investigating the story to the degree that the container becomes clear, that you may pour yourself into it and trust that the relevant parts of you will be poured into it. So this requires a clear and comprehensive understanding of who you are as a character, who you are interacting with, or even mentioning in a scene, who they are as a character, what you need from them. Then you need to go about getting what you need. And the reason why I say we need to investigate that is because too many actors interpret. We start putting emotion. Oh, this is what's happened, so I'm feeling this. It's like, you don't know what you're feeling. You don't know what you're feeling until action gets called and you get busy doing. And then what you feel will be revealed to you. And yes, we can predict it. It's going to be relevant to the friggin' story. So too many actors focus on, ooh, I gotta get big feels. And then they hyper fixate on all this emotional manipulation and gymnastics internally so that they can make themselves feel something, and then they've spent no time actually figuring out what that something is, like the thing that they are being asked to do by the writer. They don't spend time on their character. They don't spend time on who they're talking to. They don't spend time on finding purpose, so there's no way that they can go about getting that purpose. Not really. And then what happens is they've created this process that's all emotional, and then you have none of the answers that make you feel concrete as an actor and make you feel confident in your pursuit of your purpose and your craft. So then what happens is you've basically taken insecurity and then you've multiplied it by insecurity, and you're expecting this equation to equal good and true emotional connection to an imaginary circumstance. And how on earth could that equation equal that? As opposed to the equation being, I know that emotion is a byproduct of doing, multiplied by, I am going to investigate what is really happening here in the story, who I am, who I'm talking to, what I need from them. And then that's going to equal me, once action gets called, going about and getting what I need within the context. And then I'm going to trust that the parts of me, all the intangible things within Doug, who has experienced grief and loss and joy and sorrow and love and lust and anger and disappointment in others and myself and moral failing and virtue, all of the infinite complexities of me can flood into a container of story if it's clear. And then of course I will feel in pursuit of the doing. That is a much clearer, much more duplicatable equation to engage in as an actor when it comes to emotion. But if all you take from this video is one thing, let it be: emotion is to acting what sweat is to working out. Get busy doing, and you will feel as a result. But if you try to feel before doing, you are creating a reality that is antithetical to life. And our job is to bring authentic life to fictional circumstances. This requires a level of trust that you're not going to like. I hate going into a scene knowing that I don't know how I'm going to feel, because it means I have no control. It means that I have to be willing to be surprised. I have to be willing to back myself, to bet on myself, to trust myself. And trust is a choice. Courage is a choice. It's the reason why we're paid what we're paid once we actually book a job, right? And to trust that we're going to feel everything we need to feel. The big extremes, the highs and the mega lows and all of the complexity in between. That's going to happen because of course it has to. I know I can do it. That helps. But early on in your career, and I would imagine that a lot of the people that are here, and as more people find the channel, it's going to be a lot of beginner actors. This is where the courage really comes into play. And odds are, you're going to fail at the process. You're going to do that. And you're like, it didn't work. And I'll be like, okay, cool. If I was coaching, I'd be like, all right, what about the investigation? What wasn't built to the degree that it needed to be in order for you to exist within this fiction as though it is real, as though you are accepting that reality? But there's always a diagnostic that can be fixed when we approach it this way. So obviously, I think on this channel, I'm going to have more conversations about emotion. Emotion is a big part of the job, and I may do fireside chats. I may do Q&As. If you have questions about emotional connection or things that you have dealt with or things that you're struggling with, let us know in the comments, because I would love to make a video that directly addresses questions you have about emotion. So if you're here, emotional connection is an issue for you or a fear of yours, which is true of I think every actor on the planet, then let us know, because I would love to talk directly to the problems that you're all individually having out there. If you're here at the end of this thing, thank you so much. Once again, if you can, please click like and subscribe. My whole goal with this channel is to be a lighthouse for actors that they can point their ships at. It doesn't cost them $1 gajillion. Acting training is expensive. As a coach, I am expensive, and I want this place to be somewhere where you can go and learn things that will immediately make you better at your craft and get you booking work and making money without having to pay a bunch of money. That's why I'm here. Follow us on socials at @DNIBACACT on Instagram and TikTok. I'm so grateful that you're here, and I hope this helped. Go be people.